What up, everybody? Lawler here, your inside source for all things Rocket League. Got some fun stuff to talk about today. In a recent announcement that came out from the Psyonix team is that they're teaming up with the X Games. Today's video, we're going to be talking about what that actually means, what it all entails, all the details, all that fun stuff. So with that said, if you guys do enjoy the content, before we get into it, make sure you guys give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, all that kind of fun stuff. And if you guys want to support me directly, easiest way to do so, all of the social media is showing on the bottom left. You can find in the description down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. As I mentioned in the intro, Rocket League recently put out a post yesterday saying that Rocket League is teaming up with X Games, and comes with it a trailer and a bunch of different looks of decals and everything else. And they kind of showcase and try to create some similarities between the high octane energy that is the X Games and Extreme Sports, as well as some cool solo individual mechanics. But the big focus is a lot of the new decals and wheels and toppers and stuff that are going to be coming in the game. But taking a look at the blog post, talks about how the biggest event in action sports begins this month, X Games Aspen. Rocket League is ready to celebrate the start of high-flying, adrenaline-pumping festivities on January 21st with a collaboration that includes new in-game items and an RLCS X event featuring special fan rewards. They talk about how on January 21st in Rocket League, when X Games inspired items arrive in the item shop, and the X Games tabs will be available in the item shop at the top. If you guys ever go to the item shop, they have a bunch of different categories. There's going to be an X Games one, and that will go from January 21st to the 24th, and again on the 28th until the 31st. And the reason why these dates in particular is because it is actually lining up with the upcoming North American Regional. Talk about how there's going to be an X Games Octane decal, wheels, a snowblind topper, and then you have the ability to claim the free X Skis player banner and X Board player banner both weekends. You should be able to see all those items in a slideshow right now. They're at the bottom of the page, and if you guys want to be able to look at this stuff manually, a link to it will be in the description down below if you'd like to look at your own pace if you would like to. But these are at the bottom of the blog post, and they kind of scroll through and they show them what they all look like through various items, etc. But the big thing that people are paying attention to is the fact that it is going to be a partnership with the X Games for the North American Regional 3. Right now, we are in the winter split, and Regional 3 is just around the corner with that starting on the upcoming weekend. Today will be the second day of the grid for week number 4. And then this weekend and the following weekend is going to be the final regional for North America before we get into the major. What's ending up happening is I thought originally that when I saw this, it was actually going to be the major that they're partnering with. It's like, yeah, it's X Games. Let's partner up and do a major with X Games, but it's not the case. They're actually doing it for Regional 3. I assume that's just because of the time and the way that it aligns itself. But they talk about how Rocket League Esports will be an official X Games event this year with the RLCS X Games North American Regional, aka Regional 3. You can catch all the action January 23rd, 24th, and January 30th, 31st. Next weekend and the weekend after that. Online tournament is also an official part of Rocket League Championship X Series and their circuit, and will feature the best teams in North America competing in this special RLCS X Regional. Basically, it's their way of saying, like, yeah, we totally meant to do this, not, hey, this is just kind of opportunistic, let's push them together, which is what they're actually doing. There's some interesting wording in this, but ultimately what they're saying is that Regional 3 is no longer Regional 3. Now it is deemed the RLCS X Games North American Regional, which again is kind of silly. The big thing with this is not only does it count towards the World Championship down the road, as well as going towards the major at the end of this split, but the winning team actually earns their own RLCS X Games medals. Whether these are actual official X Games medals or how they are going to present these, I do not know. We've obviously seen medals handed out at World Championships in the past. Maybe it'll be similar to that. But either way, the fact that it is an X Games trophy and medal is pretty sick. We have seen an X Games event in the past where they did it at X Games Minneapolis, where Energy ended up winning. It's known as the Tent Land because they did it outside the venue in a tent, and it was 1,000,000,000 degrees and it was super hot and the seating sucked. But either way, it was in association with X Games, which is pretty cool. It was also the first LAN that Energy ever won alongside Fireburner, Jacob, and Garrett. Because it is during the RLCS, they might as well do some fancy fan rewards for those that watch. So they say new X Games fan rewards are being added to the mix for RLCS X Games only, and as I talk about them, they should be displaying over the top here. But the way that it works is you can tune in for your chance at receiving the Knuckle Huck player banner, the X Boards, and X Skis toppers. So the X Board and X Skis are banners you can purchase, but they are actual toppers that you earn from watching the broadcast. So they're doing a little bit of swap-a-rooney in there. The best part about all of this, though, is the exposure that it will receive. Not only can you still watch it on Twitch and YouTube, but it is also going to be on the ESPN app. As someone who has worked very hard to work with ESPN and try to bring that to the Rocket League scene, the announcement of ESPN esports pretty much dying out because of the mentality that happens at some of these older companies and corporates about esports isn't really a thing and we shouldn't focus on it. Let's do what we know, blah, blah, blah. The fact that it's still in the ESPN app is a really good sign for Rocket League. Not only is it a good foundation, a good partnership that has been built from in the past, but for them to actually put this still in the ESPN app is something that is yet another step towards making that traditional and non-traditional sports can coexist, and Rocket League is going to be the branching of that gap. There's a firm belief from a lot of us, myself included, that Rocket League is the perfect esport. It is everything that you want to make sure that if we're going to transition into that next level of entertainment, with esports being the forefront of that, that if you want to make it in traditional sports, Rocket League is kind of the way to go. And it is good to see that ESPN does that in the past. Based upon things that I've talked about in the background with context I do have there, they do talk about how Rocket League is extremely well received on any of their platforms on the mainstream that they do, whether it is ESPN, the ESPN app. Embedded content for Rocket League usually does pretty dang well and has done well in the past, even when they showed the World Championship stuff on ESPN2 in the past. Usually ratings and stuff do pretty dang good. They talk about how they can't wait for Rocket League to be part of the world's premier action sports competition with the 2021 X Games. And be sure to watch the X Games Aspen on ESPN, ABC, ESPN2, and ESPN app on January 29th through the 31st, and the RLCS X Games North American Regional beginning on January 23rd. So overall thoughts is this is just a really good partnership. There's not a whole lot of craziness to this, more of a rebranding and another place where you can consume the content and gets the name out there. And yeah, there's some interesting items and stuff coming in, more cosmetics, which isn't really the focus for me. Obviously, cosmetics are kind of the thing Psyonix does, but the ability to partner with ESPN, get it to that kind of public facing, and hopefully slowly start to get the people over at ESPN that make all the decisions, the bigwigs, to see like, yo, Rocket League's pretty dope. It does very well for entertainment and consumer purposes. It is also non-violent, and there's a lot of good things about it accessibility-wise, and you can sit down and watch it and you understand ball goes in net, but it's still entertaining. Hopefully this continues to push the boundaries of where Rocket League is as an esport and keeps pushing it ahead of others, because if you compare it to stuff like League of Legends, Counter-Strike, or anything else, to the general consumer and to the wide audience of traditional and non-traditional, it is the best shot we have at making Rocket League more mainstream, as well as esports in general more widely accepted. That has a lot of business implications about getting travel visas and things like that for the players so they can have insurance and take care of themselves. But again, it's kind of that first step, and I do think that Rocket League could be the one that really pushes it over that hurdle. So shouts to ESPN for also putting Rocket League on that. Shoutouts to the esports team for making this all happen. And fingers crossed for what it may lead to in the future. That is going to wrap it up for this video of Rocket League news. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, as well as your thoughts in general about what this means, make sure you drop it down below. Maybe you are going to try to encourage your friends and family or older relatives to be like, hey, you know, this game I really like has their pro scene being played on ESPN. Check it out, see if you like it. Maybe you can kind of use it to branch interest with your relatives. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys do enjoy the content, as always, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, notifications, all that fun stuff. But I will catch you next time and hopefully see you in chat for the version 1 broadcast.